Very quick intro. In this video we're going to show you the last part of forging a Damascus steel by Clarke Knives, and we're going to grind off the scales, use the surface grinder to make it flat and clean, and give it a little test etch just to show you what the ladder pattern's going to look like. That's it. Welcome to the UK Blade Show. Just to let you know, this video is sponsored by a handful of people. Got GFS Knife Supplies, Multi-Tool Products Europe, and B&D Abrasives. We'll talk about their stuff later, but for now, this last part of the MakersGonnaMake series with Graham Clarke, we're going to be finishing off the Damascus steel that he's making for us, and that he actually sells to fellow knife makers across the UK and beyond. So don't forget to get in touch with him if you're interested in buying a ready-to-grind Damascus steel. All the links are in the description below. And in this part of the series, all we're gonna have left doing is producing the ladder pattern. So check out for the type of dies that Graham will be using. We're gonna be grinding off that scale just to try and make it nice and clean, finishing it off with a surface grinder to make it completely flat. And obviously, if you stay right until the end, you're gonna see that beautiful ladder pattern etch that he's gonna show us. So make sure you stay until the end of the video. And obviously, just in case you're new to this channel, if you're interested in knife making or bladesmithing videos, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button with the little bell notification so we'll get to tell you when a new video is out.
See, we have a billet which is nice and straight, nice constant thickness. Now we're going to cut that, restack it, and put a lot more layers into it. It's only got 24 layers in for now. We're going to cut him, stack him up, get 72, and then we're going to do the same again, take it up to 216 layers. Okay. Right, that can stand there quite easily. So we're going to take one of the billets that we forged out to lots of layers, and we're going to put him through there, so you can actually see lots of little teeth, and the teeth on the top are by the hollows on the bottom and vice versa. They're called laddering dies, and these will groove the die. I'll show you just now how we actually get round to making a ladder pattern out of that. Right. You see with this die as well, we've got two little guides on either side, and there are spacers in there. For this particular billet, I don't want them to come quite so close together as they did last time. These spaces are just for adjusting how close tooth part of the dies come together. So I'm just going to take those out. You can see we've got two little spaces in there, and I'm going to change that little one for one that's about 2mm thicker. Just give me a little bit more metal in the middle. They go on there. I do the same with the one at the back. Take the thin one out, put a slightly thicker one in. That's it, now we're ready to go. You'll see it's making those little slots in there very much deeper. That's quite easy just by pushing it, it just drops into those slots. You can feel it when it goes in, and down she goes, because they're all even. And then the ones at the front here, they just make those grooves a little bit deeper. Alright, so it's getting cold now, we're going to the cold part. I'm just looking to see what I'm getting there, and those grooves are not quite going in deep enough. So I'm going to change those spacers back a bit to where they were, and then they'll come together a little bit closer, and we'll make those grooves a bit deeper so that we can make some nice ladder Damascus. Okay, I'll take my spacers out and go back to slightly thinner ones. That allows those jaws to come together by about another 2mm, and that's just going to help to improve the quality of those grooves a little bit. we have a look now, you can see those grooves are going in a lot deeper, and that's going to give me a much nicer ladder pattern. So I'm up 2/3 of the way up. I just now need to get the other end of the billet hot. The forge is not that long, and get the other end done. And you'll see it sticking out the other end if you walk around the other end. So now you can see where we've forged those grooves in. We grind those off on the top. That'll reveal all the layers inside, and you will see the typical ladder pattern. It just now needs to be straightened and flattened. That's it, let's got it nice and straight. That one's done. Taken off the worst of the high peaks. I don't want to take off too much because, you know, just working with an angle grinder, it's not perfectly flat. But that's a lot of the hard work done. We can put that onto the surface grinder now and finish flattening that down. And then we can take it down to, we'll take it down to about 180 grit, and then we can do a test etch and we'll see whether we've got a pattern in there. Just cool him off. Okay, so we'll take him round to the surface grinder. You can see we've got a fairly nice flat finish, nice and clean. So now we're going to put that in some ferric chloride and wait for the pattern to develop. Come with me. You can see we have this very high-tech ferric chloride pot. Just leave them in there for a few minutes until the pattern comes up. So we've only ground the one side just so you can see how we do it, but later on I will grind the other side and then we'll retest etch again. That piece has already been normalised and annealed. As soon as we've got it flat and etched and we can see the pattern, then that's ready to go into the shop and up for sale. I'm going to dry it. I'm going to come over and get some paper. That's a very light clean up. This is just 1200 grit paper.
Very quickly, I thought I'd share with you, talking about carbon steels and other knife making supplies, our video is mainly sponsored by GFS Knife Supplies. They are a one-stop shop for all your knife making needs with super fast worldwide delivery that you can order directly from your mobile phone. You can go to their website and buy everything, including the most popular carbon steels for knife making, abrasive belts like the Cubitron 2, Trizax and shredders, some brand new game-changing heat treatment tools and consumables, and some really unique handle materials, including stabilized wood, G10 liners and many more. All the links are in the description below to help you navigate through their wonderful website, so go ahead and click on them now.
It just shines up the light colours, the nickel bearing steels a little bit. See the pattern? You can see the ladder pattern starting to appear. Yeah, you don't see the pattern as well now because this has been normalised and annealed. The contrast between the light and the dark areas is not very good. But once it's been heat treated, the dark areas will etch up very, very much darker. Yeah, I'll just surface grind just a fraction more, then we'll do the other side, then we'll do the final test etch. Then it'll be photographed and put in the shop. Now the stuff we put in the shop is, they're not specialised photographs. There's not something made to drag you in. You actually see the photograph of the piece that you're going to buy. And then that's it. You pay your money and you get a lovely piece of Damascus. The end is snapped off. If anybody tells you you can't weld aluminium to steel, tell them to come and see me. It had no useful purpose at that time, of course. It was just an exercise in what we could do, but it worked. Yeah, so you're ready to rock and roll. I have a home to go to, but I'm under no pressure to go there, so.